All right, good morning, everyone. Today's date is Friday, November 20th. It's 9:30 a.m., so I'll call our Commissioners' workshop to order. First item is the auditor. She's not here, so we'll come back to her. The treasurer's report.
I don't have anything to do.
Okay. Then my items are the next. So the first thing I have is the lawn care. I thought I had given y'all each a copy of what the lawn care for 2021 would be. If I haven't, I'll get that to you. But Mr. Foote, I noticed is here today. If you have any questions, we didn't change anything. It's going to be the same as it was for 2020. Same amount and same number of actions that he's going to take and everything. So he came and we had a good discussion, and so unless y'all have any questions for that, about that, then I'll propose on Monday that we enter an agreement with Mr. Foote.
And the way that agreement, if I remember right, works is he does so many treatments that we agree to. If he feels like it needs additional, he comes to you for approval.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have an agreed upon price, and we have an agreed upon number of either applications or whatever. And then Roger has the ability that if he thinks something is an issue and we need to pay more attention to it, then he can contact me and I can authorize him to do that. But like I say, if y'all don't have any questions, I've been well pleased with the lawn care and stuff that we get here, so. Okay. All right, Roger, do you have anything you want to say? Okay, all right. And we'll vote on that on Monday. I'm gonna table item 2. I was not able to get with the sheriff this 2 weeks like I thought I would be, so I'll table that and we'll put that back on the December 14th meeting. If y'all don't have any questions, what I've been well pleased wanting to do is maybe bring to y'all the ideal of even after COVID, changing our courthouse security in this building and allowing just the basement to be the entrance, and setting up a security station downstairs with a counter and stuff for the guys more than a table, and also to have a metal detector put down there and try to limit the entrances and exits that are allowed. Of course, we have to have those for fire code reasons, and so we'll need to do something about those doors. Put some kind of push bar or something on them that in case of emergency you could get out of them. So, but I'm going to table that until the next time. The next item I have is in reference to our courthouse office space. This arose when the juvenile probation department took a new location, and this building over here became available. And so people were coming and talking to me about moving and the office space and stuff. And, you know, I got thinking, because years ago, the sheriff was responsible for the office space at the courthouse. And then the legislature come in after a few years and changed that to the commissioner's court is responsible for the office space in the courthouse and not any one person. So the reason I brought it to you is we have a couple of departments that we would like to move to the Old Justice Center. That has been delayed because I don't want to move them until after we have the parking lot over there completed. We don't want to try to put in any ramps or any ADA equipment until we see what's going to happen with that parking lot. So, but anyway, Deborah and Carla have went over there and looked. Also, our constable-elect Tommy Baker had gone over there and looked. And so I think Tommy originally was under the impression that Sharon was going to do something else with her room down there. She has since told me that she's not, and that he is welcome to have that office. But anyway, just wanted to bring this up, and we'll discuss it on Monday on what y'all think about assigning the office space and things like that. Any questions? Do y'all have any comments?
Well, we went on there several months ago and picked out what we thought would be work for us.
Okay,
We've done that, we've been over there and looked around several times.
okay, all right. Carla, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Tommy?
No, sir.
Okay.
Then,
Then,
I've got a question.
okay,
Do we have security cameras in that building, or is that something that?
I think we're gonna have to put them in the building. Of course, we have the security cameras that monitor the grounds of the courthouse, but, as far as the building per se, I think we'll have to, do something
And I
else.
know we talked about it during budget, but we never budget anything for cameras inside that building, did we, or did we not?
I don't believe so. If we're only going to occupy the lower floor, and the way that building's laid out, it's just one hallway. And so I really think the camera expense would be nominal.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember if we had, I know we talked about it, but I couldn't remember if we budgeted. Yeah, we'll have to have one or two.
It does have a door that you have to enter the code, do y'all still have, do they still have to do that?
Yeah, I believe so.
They still have to enter
Yeah,
that code
they
to get in?
still have to allow somebody to come in. I mean.
There's
the
a button you
person
have to
coming in.
push.
Yes.
It's not something that, I mean, it's when they're in, it's their concern over the
Yes,
years.
yeah, once somebody's there.
Yeah.
But, like I say, I just think it will be, not only for security reasons, but just access reasons. It would be a lot more convenient for the clients that Debbie and Carla serve, to be over there as opposed to where they're at.
But Tommy, you're wanting to move over there in that building?
Yes, sir.
And why is that? You don't want to be down here?
That office, JP's office, have you been to it? You have to go through all this second.
Yeah, I've been in there.
Judge's office to get to it, so there's really a lack of privacy that there, you know, it's more of a hallway. I think it'd be a little better for me to store my equipment, place equipment and stuff, quieter place to do paperwork, do my online continuing education, things like that. Be a little quieter place.
I hadn't been in that building over there much, and I'm not really familiar with how much space is there. It's fairly large though, isn't it?
It does, it has several offices on the first floor, and it has a large conference area, conference room there. And so, one of the things we thought we might could do is let them occupy their office space, and then maybe have an office left for like a conference, a small conference room, and then they could also utilize the big conference room. And so,
But so far, these three different departments are the only ones that's asked to move there?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
So far.
So far. And like I said, that's all on the bottom floor. I haven't had anyone ask for the top floor. All right, if there's no other comments about that or questions about that, we'll look at that on Monday and see what we need to do. Item number 4 is, I'll have, y'all will get to hear me read another resolution on COVID-19 on Monday. Basically, Jim just thought, because we hadn't addressed it in a while, of course, the last time we addressed it, we just said that we would follow the governor's directions and operate our local plan according to what he had, and that's basically what he's doing. He's not coming up with nothing that's more restrictive or less restrictive than what the governor is. He just says that it's been a while since we have presented something in court, and he thought it was a good idea for us to do that. So if y'all would look at that, and then like I said, I'll entertain y'all by reading that on Monday. Harold always likes when I have those resolutions to read. All right, the next item we have is a burn ban. This time of the year is the time in which expensive for, agriculture people, like to, or have a necessity to burn some, items, and I believe that even give me the acronym, TECQ.
TCQ.
Okay, even allows them to do those things during a time period, so, I would say, or my request would be for us to lift the burn ban, even though we haven't had lots of moisture, but just for the purpose of allowing the agricultural producers to do what they need to do. I don't know if we can, lift it just under that pretense, or if you just have to lift the whole thing. But, as of right now, I would think, let's lift it, let's allow them to do what they need to do, with the control burns that they have and things like that. And then if we need to, we can come back and reapply it.
And they'll be required to report these burns or to the sheriff's office?
Usually what they do, and we've had really good compliance over the years, they'll call in a control burn, let you know, where they're at and what they're doing. And then, we can sort of monitor, on whether what the weather is that day. And the other good thing is, when it's a control burn, someone's out there watching it, rather than them just setting it on fire and leaving
Okay, it's been like past 90 days since we said that like burn back
it. It was in July. I wrote the date down the other day, I looked up on our report bill, and it was in July, I believe, when we.
I don't know, the statute had changed, but the statute said it's only, the commissioner said it's only good for 90 days, then it's gone, you have to come in here and reinstate it, so I think it's already expired.
Well, I'll get with Jim, and so if we need to take action, we will. If not, then it just died. It's regular, it has expired, so, but we'll discuss that on Monday. I'm gonna table item number 6, because like I said, until the parking lot, Kenny believes that, we were talking the other day, he believes that the parking lot, they'll start working on, here in the next couple of weeks anyway, and once they get that completed. I do have a quote from Reese Glass that was given to me about, some ADA work at that building, so, I'll bring that back up on the 14th. Have a health center EMS financial, run and report for October of, 2020. We'll give that to you. They had 35 EMS calls, they had 13 transfers, for a total of 48 total calls, 12 non-transport, so they had 36 billable runs. Let's see here. They had a net income after their expenses and assets of $732.62 for the month of October. So, and then we have the notification of application for planning assistance with the TWDB flood infrastructure fund, category number 1. So, hopefully Jim will be here Monday to help us, get through that. All right, the next item we have is Melinda Brown. Is she here? Okay, her item, she's gonna have, they're gonna, Phyllis Wall will be here. They're gonna request that, $1,000, normally given to the HCHC from Hill County, and a request for a commissioner to be appointed as a liaison to the HCHC, Hill County Historical
The Hill County Historical Commission.
Commission.
And And just to let you know, that is already included in the budget for 21. I mean, we include it along with the other stipends that we do, so it's already included.
Okay. All right. The next item we have is Commissioner Precinct 3.
Yes, I have a motor grader that was due to be traded. It was over its hours. Unfortunately, just as we was about to make this trade, this motor grader was involved in an accident. Due to an error on the operator's part, it fell into a ravine. It did some damage to it, complicated the trade, and upon having it taken in and having inspected, it did a considerable amount of damage to it. Fortunately, we did have insurance on these motor graders, which I'm thankful for. But we have completed this trade, and as it worked out, the buy board selling price for the machine I'm gonna replace it with is $260,500. The damaged machine, they gave me $38,000 trade on it. I had bought an extended warranty on this machine, which it had some left. They reimbursed me $870 on the warranty. The insurance company paid $103,262.62 on this machine. So it left me with a trade balance on this machine of $118,367.84, which is pretty much in line with what we've been trading on when it's all said and done. So that's what I'll have for Monday, and also I wanna thank Ida again she's really been good to help us on these insurance claims, and I appreciate you, Ida. So that's what I'll have for Monday.
Okay. Any questions about this item? All right, then our next item is Commissioner of Precinct 4.
All right, we have rented a screen in the past to clean the dirt there at the Honor Center after the shows. And we've had some requests to get this done again. I called the guy down at Mansfield, Texas, which is Rocky Stone and Moore, where we rented the last one. And he told me he'd rent again for the same price we did in 2018. And so we just need to get that dirt cleaned up.
Do you have that price, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's $3,600. And what it does, we go pick the screen up and then take it back and then he'll bill us.
Who's that vendor, Jimmy?
That's Rocky Stone and Moore. For all I know, he's the only one I find that everyone. Renting is cheaper than buying.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions on Jimmy's item? All right, that concludes our agenda for today. Let's look at Monday's agenda. Melinda?
Yes. I'm gonna have several budget amendments. I'm gonna have 4 budget amendments that pertain to revenue and expense. And then I'm also gonna have several line item transfers that I'll present. I don't know that you want me to go into all that detail right now. It's a lot. And then the other thing that I have is, on the agenda is the Texas Department of Transportation CARES Act Airport Grant Agreement. And this you're already aware of. Earlier, a couple of courts ago, we had to fill out a form to kind of get that ball rolling, to apply for $30,000 from the TxDOT Aviation Division to be used at the airport. And this is the agreement that y'all just need to approve and the county judge to sign, so we can receive those funds. And as you all know, also, it will go towards the crack seal project at the airport. And that's all I have.
All right. Any questions of Melinda? All right, Ida? Okay, then that brings me back down to my items, which we have discussed for today. I'll have all those on Monday, in the addition of two others. One of the additions, I received a letter from TechSite, giving us an allocation of material, for 2021. And so, I'll present that letter to you and the amount that they're gonna allow us to have and have y'all vote on that. And then the other item that we added was for future events at the Ollie Liner Center. And so, I'll open the discussion on the future events at the Ollie Liner Center. So, Kenny, you had visited with me about bringing this on the agenda. Do you want to start?
Yes, Judge, we've got a great deal of interest in this stock show coming up, the dinner and everything that we have this time of year. Of course, people have a lot at stake in this. These kids have put so much into these animals, work and expense, and they're very concerned about what we're gonna do as far as having this event or not. And we have some interested parties here from both sides of this issue as to whether we should or should not have it.
Okay.
And I think Andy's here this morning. If you'd like to speak to that, Andy, we'd like to hear from you.
Sure. Appreciate Kenny and Harold inviting me today. I invited some of the officers from our executive committee of the Stock Show Board as well. And just wanted to ask you guys to really think about the Hale County Stock Show, particularly the dinner as well, but mainly the Hale County Stock Show. The dinner is also an important fundraiser for that Stock Show Board. But these, as Kenny mentioned, these kids, a lot of these kids have had animals on feed since March. You know, the other ones have had to feed animals on feed since about May. They put in unlimited amount of time and effort with these particular animals, with the thought that they're going to have a county stock show. The thought of potentially canceling this event is not like canceling a basketball game or a football game. There's a lot more that is invested in it than that. These kids have put a tremendous amount of effort in it. As a stock show board, as an executive committee, we've talked about some protocols that we could do. We've been talking about it since April, and we've got some ideas of some things that we can do to make sure that we are socially distanced the best possible, that we have the most limited amount of participation as possible. Some of those ideas are, number one, masks, of course, hand sanitizer stations. We can also limit the amount of participation by only letting the immediate family members and ag teachers and county extension agent advisors, stock show board committee be there during the show. There's potential if we feel like we need to, we can spread the show out to more days and have one species at a time potentially in there, and kind of limit the traffic that we would have in that place. But I just ask that y'all strongly consider. I know we've had to cancel lots of events. I know COVID is extremely serious, and we don't want to put anybody at danger. But I think if we follow the precautions to try to limit the amount of exposure and the amount of people there, this is something that is extremely detrimental to those kids to get to participate in. And you know, I was mentioning to Benny the other day, if we decide to cancel an event like this, it doesn't affect me personally. I'm going to still get a paycheck. He's still going to get a paycheck. We're all still going to get paychecks. But if we cancel an event like this, every one of those 4-H and FFA kids that have been involved in the year, we took their entire paycheck. And a lot of them are going to owe some loans and some different things like that they're not going to be able to probably ever participate in the stock show program again. And this stock show program, as I was mentioning to Harold when I was visiting with him the other day, it's not just about the money. It's about the things the responsibilities that these kids learn, and growing these people to be strong people for our community and our society. And I really ask that you guys really consider the kids and the families as we take this decision about the Ollie Liner Center. Is it okay if I have any of these other board members speak?
Jan, Andy, just for, what days are the stock show?
Right now, I don't have a calendar with me.
I didn't mean to put
It's
you
the
on the spot.
15th through the 18th, I believe.
January?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So that's the proposed schedule right now. We could tweak that and add a day to it, potentially move in on Thursday, show some on Friday, move some more animals in on Friday evening, show some on Saturday, move them out, move some more in on Saturday, show on Sunday. So we've got some ideas that we can, if we need to spread things out, species-wise, that we can make work as well.
Any of those dates, around those dates, are they open?
Yes, sir.
So they could spread them out
Yes.
if they needed to? Okay. All right. Yeah, anyone else that is welcome, that's here, is welcome to stand up. If you would, just state your name and then give us your view.
Thank you, Judge, I appreciate it. Court, my name is Kenneth Hooker. I currently serve as the Secretary Treasurer for Hale County Stock Show Board. Just to give you a couple of quick numbers to put in the back of your mind, certainly those things that Andy talked about as far as the life lessons that showing gives these kiddos are very important, but just the numbers bounce from year to year, but the distribution that flows from this community back to those exhibitors typically is in the $250,000 range. It's not little bitty money that Stock Show Supper raises, if you will, the corpus, not only to run the show, but also to fund scholarships. Could the stock show exist if there were no show in 2021? Yes, sir. We have reserves. Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that it would all die if we didn't hold the show this year. However, yes, if we didn't hold the supper or the show. But certainly, that supper raises some $30,000 that we use again to run the show and to pay scholarships back to those kiddos. It's a significant amount of money. Several hundred kiddos are involved. A lot of local merchants do benefit from that event as well. Thank you for your consideration. Be welcome to answer any questions you may have.
All right, any questions of Mr. Hooker? When is the dinner?
It's a
January
seven. It's a seven. It's a first Thursday of the year.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Igo, thank you, Judge. I'm in agreement with Kenneth and Andy on the show and the participation. I shared with Andy, I said, I am the cattle superintendent out there, and I agree 100% with what they're saying. I told Andy, when he asked me about this, I said, Andy, I am a person who likes consistency. And it's easy when it's consistent with how things are going. I said that if this is very similar to a UIL competition, it's a part of the school system. And as long as our school systems are continuing with basketball and football playoffs and the other curricular activities that the state is allowing to happen, then I hate to send a message to the 4-H and FFA kids who work very diligently at the same projects to say, hey, you're gonna get punished because of a decision that the county is making. And so I just want us to be consistent when we consider our children. And if the school systems say, hey, no more basketball, no more football, then I am good with saying, hey, let's move off on this. But I think Andy's right. I think we can, there's enough protocol that we can do, spreading this thing out, or at least, but I just don't want to jeopardize the children's interest, because, man, those kids, they put a lot of effort in that, and we are teaching our future taxpayers the value of work ethic. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something.
Okay.
Me and Kevin had that kind of conversation. I agree with Kevin's idea. We've got to keep it like a level playing field. If they're playing basketball and football, these kids should have the opportunity. If they shut all that down, follow that. That's my part of it.
Judge, and Mr. Idle is correct. There's kids that play basketball, kids that play football. And showing the animals, these kids showing that is their football and basketball. I know a lot of kids that do one or the other, so if you allow one, it's hard not to allow the other one.
Yeah.
And you know, those parents that go to the games, that's their choice. It's gonna be the same with Stock Show, it's gonna be their choice, and our choice not to go or to go.
We know, sometimes in the small communities, you know, you're doing everything. You're playing football, basketball, and long stock. So, I was one of those kids, and I mean, the showing was probably more important than the basketball. But I'm not saying priority, but I'm just saying, I learned, I think, a lot from that. And so, I'm all for it.
You know, 2020's been anything but normal. There's been nothing normal about this year, and it's pretty much started that way, and it's gonna end that way. And here again, we're gonna have to make a pretty important decision, really important decision. I appreciate you guys' point of view. You know, I understand exactly what you're saying. I've had kids and showing animals and so forth, and it's extremely important. I'm also hearing, I'm in a position to be around a lot of medical experts, and I'm hearing from their side of this. And they're not thinking it's a good idea at all. This COVID, if you look at the numbers, you know, they've steadily increased. We're having more exposures to it. We're having more cases of it every day. So we're gonna have to make a really tough decision. Myself, as far as the basketball games and things like that, you're exactly right. I really don't understand why they're still doing it, but they are. And Jack, could you speak to us about that?
Yeah, Jack McCaskey, Young County Health Department. And I do agree with one thing, we should close down the basketball and football and all that stuff. If it was in our power, from the health authority's point of view, we would, but that's not within our power. Our numbers, we had 632 active cases in Hale County yesterday, which is an increase. And it's been hanging in the mid 500 for a while now. I was hoping we wouldn't peak over 600 again, but we did. With Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas coming up, and the sheer fatigue on people not doing what they need to do as far as masks and social distancing, we expect our numbers probably decline, at least temporarily through those events. Talking about Laura, we just, you know, I sympathize, I understand, and I wish that if I could coach football and basketball down, all those fall sports, I would. But we just don't think any large gathering of people at this time is a good idea. Simply because, like I said, the numbers are just increasing and they're not looking good.
Well, I know our hospital up here and the staff is overwhelmed, have been for quite some time, and it's not getting better, and that's what their concern is.
The entire second floor has been converted to COVID. I mean, the hospital here, and this local hospital, the entire second floor is strictly COVID right now.
Well, we have a little time to think about this and discuss it, and kind of see, you know, hopefully the numbers will turn, but.
And that's, you know, you don't know from week to week. I mean, we're talking mid-January, and they could drop between them. We may not get that, you know, expected increase after Thanksgiving. We may not get that expected increase after Christmas. But, you know, I said, it's one of those deals, I know they have to make a decision well before the event, but, and I can't predict what's gonna happen. But they have been steadily planning for a while, and we had a brief lull earlier. We got down to 50 patients, active cases at one point, about a month or so ago. But since then, we're back up to, like I said, 600 something, so it's been crazy.
Well, I appreciate you coming today, Jack.
All right, if y'all don't need anything else with me, then I'm gonna take off,
No,
because I'm busy. So.
Well, Jack, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know, I have a difficult time making a decision on something that's 60 days or so out in the future.
Yes,
And so, my question to you would be, if we got Andy, to get his protocols together, because I think no matter what, we're gonna have to operate a different stock show than what we normally would. But if Andy could come up with a plan and factors that would, minimize the risk to everyone, would you be willing to work with him as far as?
I'm always
putting
willing to
those
work with
together
them
and
and
stuff?
review any kind of plans that we have. I mean, you know, I mean, that's my job, is to work with people and try to make the best choices we can make. but we have to make the best choices for the entire community, not just a small set of it.
And, you know, that's one of our deals is, you know, we certainly want the kids to have their stock show. I mean, no one here is against that, but we have to think of the community as a whole and the safety. So what I'm gonna propose to the court, is that we let Andy work on some options that he can apply, and maybe readdress this in our December 14th meeting. That would put us about 30 days out from the stock show, and hopefully our numbers and hospitalizations will be down, and we can proceed. I would think if they continue to grow, then we'd have to take that into consideration too. Would that work for you, Andy? Would
Yes,
you
sir.
be able to?
Yes, sir, that works. I'd be more than happy to get some protocols written down and work with Jack. You know, I really feel like with the protocols and our limited exposure, we can have, I don't know that we would have any more people there than these kids are exposed to on a daily basis in the classroom, than these school teachers are exposed to on a daily basis in the classroom, than these people that decide to go buy some groceries at Walmart or United are exposed to on a daily basis. I understand the community, I understand we want to slow things down, but this is huge. This is huge. I think it's one of the bigger events y'all potentially looked at having to cancel.
Well, and I would really urge you to look at maybe extending it a day or so.
Yes, sir.
So that you could help spread things out and spread events out and limit the number of people that goes to each thing. And I know you need time to plan and stuff, so, but, my recommendation to the court on Monday will probably be, let's hold off and revisit this on December 14th. Okay? Do y'all have any?
Only other comment I have, Judge, I just want to thank you guys for what you do. You guys I know you put a tremendous amount of work and effort into this and these kids, and I appreciate it. And I'm sorry we're at this point, we're even having to try to decide whether we're gonna have one or not. But, you know, I do appreciate what you guys, and you coming here today to express your opinions. Thank you too, Jack. for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
All right, let's, Melinda Brown will be here on Monday, and Braintrust things will have the commissioners address their topic. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
And does anyone else have anything to bring before the court this morning? All right, and if no one else has anything further, then we'll stand